Hey, it's George Levy, and we're going to talk crypto safety. In this episode of Crypto by the Sea, we're going to talk about the concept of how to keep your cryptocurrency safe. And this is actually based on a comment that I received on the last video that I posted of Crypto by the Sea. So we will talk crypto safety, and I just want to let you know this is the second video that I record of the day. The first video I recorded at around 5 in the morning, 5:30. And I'll share with you the details of that later in this video, so stick around with me and I'll share that with you. But let's talk about crypto safety. The topic is, how do you keep cryptocurrency safe? And the focus I want to focus on right now is, if you look at the sky is very, very rough. It's actually, you can hear the ocean. It's a rough day. I wasn't expecting that the weather would play a factor into Crypto by the Sea. It just wasn't in my mind. I just said, hey, it's a beautiful thing to go to the beach and be able to talk cryptocurrency. But I thought, this morning at 5:30, it wasn't a beautiful day. It was actually raining. And I'm going to show you the video later so you can see, because I recorded a lot of that video under the rain. And I said to myself, hey, I'm going to put together the video and I'm going to still go through it because I promised myself that I would do this. So I will share you details of it, and I'll show you some of the footage from that video. But it wasn't a quality video in the sense of it wouldn't deliver the message that I wanted to deliver. So yes, I was able to put down the information, but it wasn't the quality video that I wanted to give. But I will still give you some of that information. Regardless, let me talk to you about crypto safety. When you're talking about cryptocurrency, you have to realize that cryptocurrency is money. It's a very valuable thing, and people want to get it. That's where scammers come in. They want to take your money away. So you have to be very careful with cryptocurrency. It's very, very handy. It's very practical. And I do really firmly believe that it is the future of money. I think that money as we know it is flawed. I think that money is just simply not going to survive with all the new technologies, especially now that AI is coming in. AI wants to make payments. AI really can't go around with money and pay for things. Well, maybe the robots, but I don't think it's a practical thing to do. So going back to the crypto safety concept, let me give you some guidelines. Key things you need to think about is, when you're thinking about cryptocurrency, you need a wallet. So if you're actually dealing with Bitcoin, or you're actually dealing with Litecoin, you're dealing with your Ether, you're working with any cryptocurrency, you need to have a wallet. That's where we start. Your choice of wallet is very, very important. You need a safe wallet that actually has a reputation. It's a reputable wallet that you can trust. There are good choices. You can see, like, for example, I'll tell you, MetaMask is very popular. You can have Exodus. There's many others. There's Bread. In fact, I actually just put together a video where I was at Steak and Shake, and I bought a burger and paid with Bitcoin. I used a wallet called Speed. So Speed Bitcoin Lightning Network wallet. So those wallets are great. They're reputable wallets, but they share a characteristic that also makes them, you have to be careful with them. They're what's known as hot storage. Hot storage wallets are wallets that are connected to a device that's connected to the internet. For example, whatever's inside my mobile device is connected to the web. And while I'm recording this to you, if my phone is connected to the web, a hacker can hack into my phone. So I actually have posted a video before where I actually had my phone SIM swap hacked. So I didn't do anything, just somebody was able to compromise my account and get into my phone. That's a risk. If I would have had any of my cryptocurrency inside my phone, I could have lost it. Case in point, a friend of mine, Michael Turpin, actually was hacked. It was a very high profile case, and he lost millions of dollars in crypto because someone was able to SIM swap hack him. So the other alternative is what's known as cold storage. So a wallet that's connected to the internet, like whatever's on your mobile device, whatever's connected to a desktop, is hot storage. But cold storage is a wallet that actually lets you pull out your cryptocurrency and store it offline. Cold storage wallets are wallets that are hardware wallets. For instance, we have the Ledger, we have Trezor. Those are very popular hardware wallets. There's other ones. There's CipherRock. There's multiple hardware wallets that make sense. That's where you want to keep the brunt of your cryptocurrency. You want to keep it offline. You want to put it in some place that is not very popular. You don't tell people where your hardware wallets are. One thing that's very interesting is some people say, well, if I keep it inside a safety deposit box in a bank, that's a risky choice because you don't control that safety deposit box. Even though it's locked and it's in a bank, the bank has your hardware wallet. So you don't want to store your hardware wallet inside a safety deposit box in the bank because that's like giving your money to the bank. Well, you're already doing that. So if you have any money and you have them in the bank, you don't have that money. Your bank has that money. So if you're dealing with cryptocurrency, you want to be able to control your own cryptocurrency. That's called financial sovereignty. And sovereignty gives you the control over your currency, your money. So when you're dealing with cryptocurrency, you want to be able to have your cryptocurrency as controlled by you as possible. And the best choice is to keep it in cold storage and then keep that hardware wallet somewhere safe. You know, don't tell people where it's at. The next choice that I want to tell you is do not keep your cryptocurrency in your exchange. So if you're using a cryptocurrency exchange, don't keep all your money in your cryptocurrency exchange. Some people have the nasty habit of storing their cryptocurrency inside the exchange. There's a problem with that. Your cryptocurrency exchange is not you. And if they get hacked, you could lose your cryptocurrency. And there's actually some very high profile cases where cryptocurrency exchanges have been hacked and millions of dollars have been lost in cryptocurrency. High profile one, for instance, Mt. Gox. Mt. Gox is actually one of the highest profile ones, but there's many other cryptocurrency exchanges that have actually been hacked and millions of dollars have been lost. So that's another second thing that you need to put in. Okay, this is another tip that you need to know about crypto safety. Never reveal your seed phrase. When you have a cryptocurrency wallet, there's something known as a seed phrase, which enables you to restore all your cryptocurrency in case you actually get hacked. So let's say you actually have your cryptocurrency inside a wallet and your wallet fails. Your device fails or you have a problem with the device you're in. If you have your seed phrase, you can actually use that seed phrase. It's 12 to 24 words. You put them inside the next cryptocurrency wallet that you have, and it'll restore your entire contents of your wallet. It's a very valuable thing to have because it gives you the assurance that even if the hardware wallet fails, or even if the wallet, because also hot storage wallets also can have a seed phrase, even if it fails, you can actually restore and preserve your cryptocurrency. But here's the problem. If someone gets your seed phrase, you lost your crypto because they control your seed phrase. This brings me to another point. In cryptocurrency, you have to remember that there's what's known as not your keys, not your coins. So keep that in mind. Perfect case is if you actually have your cryptocurrency inside your wallet, inside your cryptocurrency exchange, you're in their wallet and they have the keys. They control your cryptocurrency. So if you truly want to control your own cryptocurrency, you have to have it in your wallet. And the safest choice would be for you to keep it in a hardware wallet that you control and for which you know your seed phrase, you know your private keys. But going back to the seed phrase process, there's a very popular hack that many people, that many phishing hackers do, is they trick you into giving away your seed phrase. And if they get control of your seed phrase, you'll lose your cryptocurrency. So as a YouTuber, one thing that I've noticed is that there are many comments that I've seen inside some of my videos where someone pretends that they're looking for help and they're asking me, what do I do? And then they say, well, my cryptocurrency is inside a wallet and this is my seed phrase. And they give me a fake seed phrase and they'll put together 12 to 24 words and put it in there pretending that they're desperate and looking for help. And they're really just trying to trick you into thinking that it's okay for you to reveal your seed phrase. So when you really look at that, obviously I get rid of those comments, but to someone that doesn't know that that is actually a vulnerability, they could be innocent enough as to give their seed phrase away. And the person who gets your seed phrase gets your cryptocurrency. That's a huge problem. But let's continue on the crypto safety aspect. So far we've talked about the choice of wallet. So far we talked about the exchange, where you really don't want to keep all your crypto inside your exchange. Only keep the amount that you need to do your trades, whether you're buying some crypto or whether you're selling the crypto or you're trading crypto. Only keep the amount that you need to have in the crypto while you need to use it, and then pull it out and put it into your own storage, preferably a hardware wallet, and then store that someplace where nobody knows where it is. Many people actually have multiple wallets, and I'll tell you that's the preferred choice. And you split and you keep different crypto in different wallets, and that way you don't have a single point of failure. Very valuable tip also. So moving into that, while I'm at it, let me tell you, I have a video that I posted where I went to Steak and Shake, and I mentioned this, and I bought a burger, which is awesome, and I paid with Bitcoin. That wallet in that device kept a smaller amount of Bitcoin. I just put in, I believe, like $50 worth of Bitcoin at the price point that day, and I had it, and I went over and I bought it. Now that, even if that phone were to be hacked, I would have a maximum loss of $50 worth of Bitcoin. At the time, well, $50 amount of Bitcoin at the moment in that wallet. So I don't leave myself fully vulnerable. And of course, I don't put all of my eggs in one basket. So I would never keep all whatever, even if I only have a little bit of Bitcoin, I wouldn't put it all into one phone, because I would lose it all if that phone were to get hacked. So let's go specifically, now that we go through those things. We talked about the wallet, we talked about the exchanges, we talked about never reveal seed phrases. The next one is never send large amounts of crypto before testing if the address works. And you do that by sending just a little amount. So let's say you have to send, I don't know, hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. I've seen transactions in millions of dollars. You always do a smaller transaction first, just to make sure that the address that you're sending to is receiving. And once you have it fully ready, then you can do the larger transaction. So always test first with a smaller amount to make sure that it's not a fake address, and make sure that whatever device is receiving it is effectively receiving that. So big thing that you need to do for that. And one of the key also aspects that I want to tell you, and this one comes all the way back from when you're thinking about email marketing, always check the URLs of whatever you click on. That's a very big attack vector from different scammers, and they'll put together URLs that is the addresses that you click on that look like popular destinations or safe destinations, but in fact, they're scams. And I'll tell you from personal experience, one thing that I saw once, I actually received a link that I had to click on, and when I looked at it, I noticed that one of the letters looked like a letter from my alphabet, but it actually had a very strange accent somewhere. And scammers can do that. If you have a domain name that looks like a popular domain name, but you use a character from a different alphabet, to the untrained eye, you're thinking you're clicking on the effective address, but in fact, you're actually getting tricked. So I'm telling you all these things because when you're dealing with cryptocurrencies, we're dealing with a new technology. You're also dealing with something that's growing very, very fast. And while you are actually here, plus in fact, when I'm here, there are billions and billions of dollars in cryptocurrency making their way around the world. People think that money is the money that we've known through most of our lives, right? But that's changed. And now massive transactions and billions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency are changing hands on a regular basis, daily. There's billions, dozens, hundreds of billions of dollars of cryptocurrency making their way around the world. And that will soon be trillions. So when we go to all those things, now brings me to the first video that I recorded this morning. So this morning, I began the first video at around, well, I woke up like at 4 something, and around 5:30, I said, you know, I really want to see how I could do this thing. And I started to go to the beach, and it was raining. And I thought to myself, you know, this is a perfect opportunity to show that there's a lot of uncertainty in life. Sometimes when you're dealing with something new, like for example, crypto by the sea is something new that I've never done in my life before, and I have to learn as I go. When I got into cryptocurrencies, it was something new. At the time that I actually started actively working in cryptocurrency in 2017, actually 2016, but 2017 I went full in. It was very, very new. And things that I learned, I used to give away a lot of Bitcoin in my classes. So people would come to my classes and I would give away, sometimes I'd give $1 worth of crypto, but many times I would give like 25 cents, 50 cents worth of Bitcoin. Because at the time I said, I'm really growing it. In the process, I'm teaching people how to install a wallet. So I just gained a new user for Bitcoin, and I'm helping to grow Bitcoin worldwide. Here's the issue. When you start doing the math of me giving away $1 when Bitcoin was at less than $1,000 per Bitcoin, when you think that through, put it all together. If you're at Bitcoin at $100,000 plus, which is where we are at the moment that I'm having this conversation with you, and I was giving away $1 of Bitcoin, that's really $100 today. So I started putting together the numbers. By this point, I've taught over 200,000 students worldwide. At the time, I would teach classes that would be like, I would have like maybe 25, 50 people in a class sometimes. I actually taught in universities, and I gave away a lot of Bitcoin. So I learned from that, and then I stopped doing that. But whenever you're dealing with something new, you also have a learning process to do that. And cryptocurrency in general at this moment is something new. It's a new technology. So there's things that you're going to have to figure out. But the tips that I'm sharing with you are a great way to keep yourself secure and safe. And given what we know, it's the best way that you can actually protect yourself. Right now, there are people that have billions and billions of dollars in cryptocurrency. And there are transactions, there are billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin being done. In fact, I've been in transactions where I've seen $90 million worth of Bitcoin be sent from Tokyo to New York. It's actually China, I apologize. From China to New York, I'm actually international. I deal a lot of transactions. This transaction was $90 million, and it arrived from China to New York, and it was a matter of minutes. And you start thinking about that. That transaction was done without any permission. There were no forms to fill, and it ran on the Bitcoin network. But you have to understand that's something that had never been done before, and yet it was happening. And now it's happening a lot more. So the key point I want to tell you is that you want to be part of this, or else you're going to be left behind, because this is the future of money. And I'm sharing this with you, which brings me back to the video that I did this morning. So I'm going to be sharing pieces from that video with you. And that video will show you that I wanted to push through. I did what I did. And instead, in fact, you know what we're going to do? Let's start showing you some footage of it right here as I'm walking with you. And you're going to see that. So right now I am moving to the side so I can actually leave the space. And I'm going to show you how it looked. And you're going to see me that I was in the middle of the rain. And I'm trying to deliver the message because I said to myself, George, you committed to doing this crypto by the sea, and now you got to stick with it. So I was delivering the video. And by this point, what I'm telling you is that when I finished the complete video, I said to myself, that's not fair to the audience that I'm presenting to. And I should not give you a half-baked product because I want to give you a message. The message is, how do you keep your cryptocurrency safe? And that's what I'm delivering to you right now. So rather than going into the gimmicky thing that I'm actually recording a video and I'm under the rain, I even made a joke about it. I even said, hey, instead of crypto by the sea, maybe I should do crypto in the rain, which leads me to ask you again, should I do crypto in the rain? I would rather not, but that's what happened. So when you're presented with something, you adjust and you do the very best with what you got. And as we finish this video, I want to let you know that if you leave me your comments below, I would love to hear what you would like me to cover in these Crypto by the Sea episodes. Now that I've learned more, I'll have to say that there are going to be days where there's going to be really bad weather. So recording a video under the rain is not an effective thing for me to do. The other thing that I'm going to say is I have a lot of videos that I publish because I'm creating a lot of content. I would encourage you to watch my other videos. I have massive interviews with very important people, but also we cover a lot of topics in this channel. And I would love the opportunity to have you get to know me better and for me to get to know you better. So if you could leave me a comment below, let me know that you're watching. It will mean a lot to me. And it will also give me ideas and fuel for creating future episodes, not just of Crypto by the Sea, but of other episodes for this channel, because this channel is all about blockchain, Bitcoin, and crypto. And I also cover AI because you cannot skip AI. AI is taking over many, many spaces, and crypto and AI are very, very close. So to finalize on this video, the topics that I want you to remember when you're talking about crypto safety, number one is your choice of wallet. You want a secure wallet that you can trust. Preferably, you want to have your cold storage wallet. That's a hardware wallet. You're going to keep your crypto primarily in cold storage, not in hot storage. Hot storage is practical, but it's also vulnerable. The next one's going to be, make sure that you do not keep your crypto inside exchanges. When you use an exchange, don't put all your crypto there and leave it there. Some people very lazily do that because it's so easy. If an exchange gets hacked, you lose your crypto. Some exchanges have insurance. For example, Coinbase has insurance, and even if you do get hacked, you do have some sort of insurance. Your fiat funds, that's your US dollar funds, they're actually insured by FDIC. And then the other thing is that your crypto is also insured. But how inconvenient to lose your crypto. Why would you risk yourself to that? Think about it. If I'm a hacker and I'm going to hack something, would I want to hack you who might have some crypto? Or would I want to put all my resources in hacking a major payload and take down a big exchange? Exchanges are targets, just like banks are targets. You also want to make sure that whenever you are using a wallet, never reveal your seed phrases to anybody. Your seed phrases are those 12 to 24 words that actually you can restore your cryptocurrency wallet with. Never reveal that, never tell anybody. Don't tell your family, don't tell anybody. The only exception would be if you have a plan for when you die, you're handing it off to your wife, you're handing it off to your family, to your kids. That's where you can make an exception because you want them to know. And even then, there are different plans that you can put on that. So the seed phrases you never want to reveal, but also the next one. Whenever you're actually sending a larger amount to someone else, do not send the whole amount at first. Always do a test transaction and do it with a smaller amount so you can make sure that the address receives it and that your funds will actually make it to wherever it is that you're sending. Other thing that you need to do is always check your URLs. Make sure that they're not tricking you and they're putting a fake URL that kind of looks like what you are looking for. So you always take that out. And if you combine all these links and all this information that I've shared with you, you'll have a much better chance to keep your crypto safe. Again, cryptocurrency is new, and there are some risks because it's something so new. Just like, for example, when people started using the internet, well, we're at that same spot. We're completely transforming what money is, and you have the opportunity to be able to do this. Even more beautifully, you have to do this without asking permission. That's what I love about Bitcoin. If actually you want to get a Bitcoin wallet, you don't have to ask permission to get a Bitcoin wallet. You just open it yourself. Another thing, you don't have to ask permission whenever you're sending Bitcoin or cryptocurrency to someone else. And not all cryptos, because some cryptos are centralized. It depends what you're using. But decentralized cryptocurrencies, you can send them to anybody without having to ask questions, without having to ask permission. And that's very different from money. My bank controls how I can spend my money. If I actually want to buy a product and my bank disagrees with me, they'll decline my transaction. If the bank all of a sudden doesn't like me, they'll shut down my accounts. It happens a lot. If the bank actually really has a problem with you, they'll freeze your funds and they'll start doing an investigation. If you want to pull your money out of your bank, they'll only let you pull out a little bit at a time. And if you want to do any larger, they'll ask you why you're asking for that information. So your money in the bank is not your money. Your money in the bank is the bank's money. You just have permission to use it when they say you can use it. That doesn't happen with crypto. So at this moment, I'm going to finish the video, but I'm going to leave you with one final thought. Crypto safety is essential because when you're talking about crypto, you're talking about money, but not just any money. This is new decentralized money in which you are the bank. So the cryptocurrency that you control, you are the bank for. And the cryptocurrency that you control can reach massive amounts. And there are many people who really didn't have any money at first, who all of a sudden, who got into cryptocurrency, are managing much larger amounts of wealth. And I hope that's what happens with you. But as you work in this space, you have to be sure, even if you're starting with just 25 bucks or $50 worth of Bitcoin, because you don't have to buy a full Bitcoin, you can buy much smaller amounts. So if you have just say $25 or $50 worth of Bitcoin, guess what? It's still the Bitcoin that you manage. And if you manage that securely, when you get to the point when you're managing hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of it or millions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency, you know how to do it. But looking from the outside, you'll have no opportunity to be able to participate in this. So my recommendation to you is, if you've been thinking about getting into cryptocurrencies, but you're scared, think of taking the money that you would take just to go someplace to buy food. You know, say you have $25 or $50, just buy some Bitcoin. And I recommend buying Bitcoin because Bitcoin is so liquid and there's so much movement in Bitcoin that if at some point you just back out and you just want to sell it, you're always going to find a buyer for it. That's different from other cryptocurrencies. Some cryptocurrencies, when you see a cryptocurrency that rises, oh wow, it's incredible, then you find out there's no way to get out because nobody's buying it. So yeah, the price is high, but nobody's really buying that cryptocurrency. It's just the last sale that they made was at a high price point. So always get into Bitcoin first and learn how it works. So my recommendation first, next one, if you've never had any Bitcoin, buy some Bitcoin. Don't buy a large amount, and then ride it out. Feel the waves of the price. Get used to the volatility, the fact that the price goes up greatly and then goes down and it just rides. But after a while, when you've been doing it, you're used to it. I hope all these messages and all these different tips have been valuable for you. As I finish this video, I want to say I'm showing on the screen right now other videos that you may want to take a look at in this channel. Please, if you can, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you thought about the video, if you learned anything, any topics you would like me to cover in future episodes. And subscribe, hit like, and if there's anybody you think could benefit from this, please share with them this video. We're all growing in this together and we're changing the world, one blockchain at a time. Thank you for watching. My name is George Levy, and make it an amazing day.